Welcome back to another video, guys, and we are back in the garage, and you might be able to see the lighting's a little bit different, and that's because it's warm enough that not only do I have a t-shirt on once again, but I have the garage door open. See? Sunlight. What is your prerogative, dogative? Anyway, yes, the sunlight is going to help me with seeing in here. It's also going to make the light a lot better, and it's also just so much nicer to not have to work in a cold, dark garage. We'll see how long it lasts. Oh, what is that? I hear you asking? Oh, well, let me show you. It's Dashboard. Welcome, Dashboard, everyone, the unexpected star of tonight's show. Curious which one of you guys will get that reference. But yes, this dashboard has been sitting up there for almost 2 years now since I pulled it out of a junkyard car. Now I know you guys are asking, why didn't I just throw this in last episode? It's only what, 4 nuts and a screw? Well, it's because we gotta cut it. Yeah, we gotta cut it. Now some of my more astute viewers may have noticed right where that bolt is coming out of the car, there is no longer a bracket, and that is because I removed the bracket that was sitting there. That bracket just so happens to screw into this part of the dashboard. And that is because in the process of cutting it, I'd already decided this is coming out. We're welcoming back some other stars too from the sunroof delete video you guys might remember. You don't care about the sawhorses? It's not like I cared either. Now I know a common problem people are thinking when they try to cut down a dashboard for a race car like this. I mean, a lot of people, they don't really care about the dashboard, so they don't really care if they screw it up. And plus, junkyard dashboards are like 20 bucks, so if we screw it up, no big deal. But this dashboard comes with a very convenient way to know exactly where you need to cut. You see, on these E46 dashboards, all you're going to need on a race car is this part right here and this part right here. Theoretically, you don't even need this, but I'm going to keep that. And obviously, you want it to be supported, so you'll have it go all the way across. You'll have it go across on both sides. This is unnecessary. This whole lower section is unnecessary. Whole lower section there, whole lower section there. And you can tell with this line right here, that's exactly on these E46s where you want to cut. You want to cut across them, just cut this whole thing in half, just like that. And you got a perfectly good dashboard. But before I slice up this dashboard, this is something that I never took out of it when I pulled it from the junkyard. I still don't know what this sensor does. I don't. But I know I don't need it, so. And I also don't need this guy. This little leather trim right here that goes for the steering wheel. We don't need it anymore either. Now, as great of a guide as this line is on the front of the dashboard, it doesn't actually wrap around to the sides. So knowing where to cut on the sides of the dashboard is a little bit trickier. Luckily, I took my straightest ruler and I was able to draw a perfectly straight line. Let me show you how that turned out. So what happened was the dashboard, this is the flat line right here because the dashboard's sitting on the sawhorses. And I didn't think about that the first line. And then I was like, oh, I'll eyeball it. So I drew the second line. And then I realized there's these ridges in here that run where it would be level. So I marked where the ridge was. And then I drew a perfectly straight line. So, now that's a perfect example of the principle, measure twice, cut once. We'll measure 0 times, but make sure you get it right. That's all that matters, that it's right in the end. And I think it's right. We're gonna go with it. Okay, let's start causing irreversible damage. Well, it didn't cut as perfectly as I had expected it to. That's just kind of the nature of the game, but I'm gonna pretty it up real quick. All right, it is better than it was, so that's all I can ask for. I've learned that it's best not to expect things to go the way you planned. But it's cut, and that's all we needed, so let's move on. So I went ahead and wiped this down because, well, not only was it a junkyard car dash, didn't clean it after I bought it, and then sat it in a garage for 2 years, so needless to say it was a little dirty. But regardless, found this little bag. It says Dash on it. Got a lot of these little bags laying around my garage that say things on them, but I'm going to assume that I need this one to put that in the car. It's got a few more bolts in there than we need because I cut off some of the mounting points, but let's get on this. So moving right along, we're going to go ahead and install the airbag cover, and this is from the donor dash as well. You can see it's a little bit rusty from being in the weather. You don't really want to add rust to a non-rust environment, so I do want to clean that, but I'm not going to do it in this video. I'll go ahead and get that done sometime over the summer. And boy, do we have a pretty looking dash. Unfortunately, I have all the stuff there still. I don't have the heater core removed. That was actually at the advice of the person who runs all of the racing out here. I will eventually take it out, but for now, it's going to stay. Plus, it saved me some work. But next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the air vents. I only got the air vent there, and then I've got the air vent over there. I'm also going to do the gauge cluster and the light switch over there. Then we'll worry about the rest of the stuff. I don't know necessarily what I'm doing with the center, but we can also get the steering wheel installed while I try and figure that mess out. So I'm missing 2 places for screws. I got one in there. There's one right there that works. I'm missing one right there, which I'm not going to worry about because one here is going to be fine, especially with the panel going across. And I'm missing one there. And I'm going to do something about that because this air vent, which is a donor from the junkyard dash, is missing this one and has this one. So there's no way for it to hold. So I went and butchered one of these guys off of the junkyard dash, the parts that I cut. That is all that we're going to do there. Next, I think we're actually going to go ahead and figure that out. Because like I said, I actually don't know how I'm going to mount everything in there. The hazard lights, the AC controls, and the traction control disable are all going to fit in there. And none of them technically mount in there properly. So I got some figuring out to do. But I have some ideas. So let me show you exactly what I'm thinking we're going to do to make it all fit in there. You may have noticed in my dash, I don't have the piece that this mounts into, the piece that the radio and this kind of both go into. The donor dash didn't have one of those, so I'm going to have to pull one out of a junkyard. But we're in luck, because the stock dash still has it. So I can pull that piece out, and I can put this into place. But that gives us the issue of where we're going to mount this massive thing just for these buttons. Well, luckily, these buttons come off. There's just 2 Torx bits there, and then this whole thing comes out. That stock bracket might not allow this to mount above this or anywhere in there because of how it's shaped. I'm going to go ahead and start by taking this guy out, and then I'm going to see if it fits in the bracket, because the bracket's just on the dash, so I can quickly go check that and see if it fits in there. If it doesn't fit in there, I'm probably going to go with plan B, which is tape it all in. At least it's not duct tape. This is my T10 Torx here. I don't know if you can really see, but it's kind of twisted a little bit. That was from my last job, so the only Torx bit I need for this is my damaged one, but it should still work. And there we go. Now let's go see if it will fit in that bracket. And just as I suspected, this doesn't necessarily fit in this space here. I'd cut this bracket up, but I'm trying to keep everything from the car that's stock in good condition in case I ever rebuild the car back to stock. So I'm gonna have to get one of these from the junkyard. I might be able to get, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. So here's what the plan is for right now. This guy and this guy, I wanted to get done in this video. It was part of doing the whole dash assembly. I don't want to cut up my stock car parts. So these guys are gonna be put on hold. Because I was gonna say, we're just gonna go ahead and we'll tape them in, and if I have a chance to go to the junkyard, then we'll go ahead and try something different. But I do actually have to go close to the junkyard on Friday, which my videos are uploaded on Thursday, so it's not gonna work out. So we'll do this in the next video. So we're just gonna put these off and we're gonna jump to the next step, which just so happens to be the steering wheel. Let's go ahead and get this installed. I was gonna do this after that just because this will, you know, stick out and it'll make my working space a little bit more cramped, but won't actually stop me. And don't forget how to line this up. I showed it in my first video, but it's just the two notches in here, but the two notches go to each other, and that is how you know it's lined up. There's also the, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's also the plugs in the steering wheel. You got this little white connector right here, and you got this little black connector, and they've just got to go back onto that stock there, although I probably should plug it in white first. And then lastly, the airbag, I'm not even going to plug it in. I'm just going to leave the plugs in there and just let them do their own thing because, well, I don't even have the brain for the airbag control system in, so there's no point in having my airbags plugged in. Steering wheel's back in the car. Well, there you have it. That is a race cut dashboard and my steering wheel's back in. I really want to replace that steering wheel. It's just $700 to do the whole setup for that. So, future upgrade, heck yeah, hopefully soon. I didn't realize that this junkyard dashboard didn't have the right bracket in there. Hadn't seen it in a couple of years and I never pulled it down to check. I just kind of assumed it had everything I needed in it still. Yeah, don't assume things.
Oh, hey guys, sorry to jump in here. This is editor version me. I just wanted to quickly throw in the weight because we pulled out the original dashboard and then we cut this one down. So there is weight that was never accounted for. We saved 4 pounds on that dashboard cut, so just wanted to throw that in there for you guys. Everything more or less worked the way I wanted it to. I'm super happy with the way that the dashboard came out, and I mean, you know, a little disappointed that I couldn't get the other stuff installed. I was going to try and do everything dashboard related in one video, but I'm not going to be able to run to the junkyard before this video is due to be out, so it'll just have to get rolled over in the next video. But that more or less covers everything that I was going to do. Wait a minute. Yeah, I still don't have the tool for that, so we'll just do that next time as well. Anyway guys, that more or less covers everything that we had planned for this video. If you liked it, maybe consider liking down below. If you really like the content, maybe consider subscribing. It really helps me out and producing these videos. We do have more work to do to this car, and as of the time of filming this, there's only 2 weeks to my next race. It's not a lot of time at all. And we got a whole summer full of racing to do, and depending on how money is being between jobs, well, actually I started a new job, but maybe I'll tell you guys more about that at the actual event. We'll have to see how money plays out, but I would love to get this car out to Sonoma or Laguna Seca, somewhere out that direction, as well as maybe even to Nationals this year now that I have a trailer and I can haul it all the way around the country, which Nationals are at Daytona, so is that Florida? I think that's Florida. I don't know the NASCAR tracks that much, but I'm pretty sure it's in Florida. So I'd be all the way out to Florida, which I've never been out there before. Regardless guys, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.